so the conceptual stage refers to before we even decided what ideas we're going to work with. So I had 2 ideas for different music videos, which I basically put into a Word document, which is there, and presented them to the audience, to the class, and got some feedback. And there, on my blog there, and this is the one for, you can see what they are if you go to the next slide. The first one was the Teenagers idea for My Chemical Romance's song, and that got the most positive feedback. The idea was that we would set it in a old people's home and have these pensioners behaving like kind of rebellious, like delinquents and punks and stuff. But the feedback we got was that that would be quite difficult to do, because first of all we'd have to organise it, we'd have to get all the old people, and we'd have to find an actual location that looked like an old people's home. And we looked on Google Maps trying to find a retirement home near us, but we still thought it would be a bit weird to just rock up and be like, hi, can we use your old people? The other one was Ain't No Rest for the Wicked by Cage the Elephant, which is a great film, but sadly also I don't think would work, because the idea was that it was in public and it was on a street and it was at kind of night time, evening thing. And the closest place we could use would be Guildford. I expect we could maybe use London, but either way, it's quite difficult to film in public with lots of people, crowds, because you don't want people looking in the camera, and also you have to ask people's permission to film them. So both those ideas were out. In the end, we pulled the ideas together and we voted on which one we wanted to use. And yeah, we went with Carla's idea, which was to do Woodkid, Iron, which was the film that's in the Assassin's Creed advert and the Volvic advert. And we were really happy with this. We came up with some really good ideas. We had this idea to do it in a country with a mixture, a blend of like modern stuff and like fantasy medieval stuff. But in the end, because of the fact that it's become quite famous through these adverts, and when we first started the idea, so we wanted to do it, and when we had to change, it became something a lot more known about, and people were playing on the radio and stuff. So we didn't go with that one. We had to change our idea to the idea that we currently have. But this is the next stage, which is Rough Cut, which is once we'd had we'd done the pop music video, the I Got My Eye on You. We'd done that to a rough stage, and we had the digipack, and we had the website, and we showed it to a group of people. We had a group screening, and there's the recording there on my blog, which we recorded it so we could find individual bits of feedback. Yeah, with a focus group, the reason you do it is first of all to gain a fresh perspective on your product, so to look at it, because you've been looking at your own product for so long that you have this kind of bias as your thing, you don't see the flaws necessarily. That's like I said there, to get an unbiased opinion of your product, and part of that is not asking leading questions, so not asking things that make the people you're talking to feel obliged to give an answer. It's more about them giving just a honest, unbiased opinion that you can say, okay, fair enough, and see what you can do with that. And obviously it's just to see what the audience like and dislike and what they would change, so what you would change to make them happier. Yeah, we got lots of feedback. We had teenagers, male and female, so this is pretty much the same as our intended audience. Our audience is originally mostly female, but it was nice to have a different kind of mix. Yeah, the feedback's here, there's different quotes. The interesting ones, there's the video, it's the only group out of these few who've managed to match the genres together, which is interesting because a lot of people actually didn't feel like the products were mixed together, so you do get conflicting feedback sometimes. You've got to remember when you're doing it that people have different opinions, and they're not all going to be right. So the biggest constructive feedback we got was the digipack and the website were not similar enough, and that we could put more effort into making the genre more obvious throughout the 3 products. So, oh, that's blocked there, you can't quite see there. Yeah, so the digipack which I originally designed was too dissimilar to the website, so we decided that first we'd do 2 things. We're going to change the website a little bit and just alter it so it looks nice, so change the fonts and stuff, and also start from complete scratch with the Digipack. So again, redesigned the Digipack, and you can see there we did it's completely changed. We started from scratch. He did a normal version with the colours, and then a deluxe edition. Yeah, and that kind of, it was nice doing it at the same time, because we could both work together, look at the different products and make sure that they correlated a bit more and looked a bit more similar. Now this is the surveys. So SurveyMonkey is this website that we've been using, and it allows people to kind of construct a survey that you can send off to anyone. You can fill in. It's free. And we did that. We sent off these questions. So, what other artists do you think this act is similar to? What do you think this act would appeal to? What does a video tell you about the act? And do you think this is a single artist or a girl band? And finally, what do you like most about any of the products? And those are quite, especially that last one, are quite open ones, so we can try and get as broad opinion as possible. So yeah, we got the feedback about it eventually, and it was mostly positive, with an emphasis on the sex appeal. Like if you go down to these next ones, that is right. Do you reckon you could go down to? Oh, you can see it. Yeah. So one of the issues we got was that the original intended target audience was like young girls, teenage girls, kind of tweens. So that's why you had the emphasis on fashion and stuff. But interestingly, almost every single person who fed back said teenage boys, and I think that was like, am I right to say that the school there were predominantly boys at the school?
It was a mixed school.
Okay, well, but then it's just interesting that they had that kind of feedback. I think it might be because of the sex appeal and the idea that you've got these attractive dancers. Maybe that kind of appeals to fulfills that kind of need. But can you go to the next one? Yeah, and also a lot of the answers were very constructive. There were some entertaining juvenile comments. So my personal favourite is, she may not be a single artist, but hopefully she's a single woman from two lovely available lads, and they've left their phone number. That happened twice. I don't feel like the comments particularly were damaging, or that it was not constructive. Well, it wasn't constructive, but it did kind of remind us that not all feedback is valuable, and also that we probably should have used members of our target audience, and predominantly female. And that is my presentation.
Okay, any questions at all? Ned, what do you think the most important thing you learned from feedback was, or that helped you most?
I think the most important thing was the aesthetic thing with the website and the Digipack. Just because I didn't think it would be that much of a problem if the products didn't look similar enough, but a lot of people raised it, so I think changing that was really the biggest change we made. I think the one I thought was most important.
Okay, great, thank you very much, Ned. Thank you.